Thank you.
Right, I'm going to share my screen as well, so then you can.
Start recording. Okay, so we'll make a start. I would just like to welcome Arran Smith for our very first Thursday 30 session. Yeah, so we've got a whole series of these sessions coming up every Thursday at 3:30 over the next term. And delighted to say that Arran is joining us from Microsoft this afternoon. And he's going to talk a little bit about Microsoft's inbuilt accessibility tools that everyone can use and how to empower potential for all of the students and everyone that we work with. Okay, I'll hand over to Arran. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mary. So welcome everyone. As Mary said, I'm Arran Smith. I'm the UK's Dyslexia and SEND Consultant. If you want to just make sure you're all muted, that'd be brilliant. Thank you. That's it. As I said, I'm Arran Smith. I'm the UK's Dyslexia and SEND Consultant, and my role is all about delivering accessibility into education. So I just want to start and ground us a little bit and say, why is Microsoft involved in accessibility? Why are we doing this? Well, it's all because of this mission. And it says that at Microsoft, our mission is to empower every person in every organisation on the planet to achieve more. It doesn't matter if we have someone with a SEND difficulty, someone with a disability, someone that needs accessibility, a male, a female, someone that doesn't have a gender, religion, sexuality, it doesn't matter. Microsoft is there to support every person, and I think this mission really encompasses it. And it's all because of this gentleman. In 2014, Microsoft had their third CEO announcement, and this is Satya Nadella, who's now our CEO and chairman of the board. And he tweeted this: accessibility is a Microsoft priority. We focus on designing and building products our customers love that are accessible for everyone and built for each of us. Now, I add an extra word in that sentence, that last line, built in for each of us, because all the technology I'm going to show you today, I'm going to demo a lot of technology today. It's all built in. Now, why am I doing this? Why is this gentleman here? And some of you may have heard I've been talking about scouting. Why am I doing this? Well, how am I involved? Well, for me, I am a severely dyslexic adult. I'm 38 years old. I have a reading age of a 9-year-old and a spelling age of an 8-year-old, and I have no automatic reading capabilities. I went through school not understanding why dyslexia affected me like it did. I didn't like my dyslexia. I was told in high school that I'd never amount to anything by a teacher because I couldn't read. I did my GCSEs and I got that support. We used that name dyslexia in my upper school, and I had that teaching assistant with me in every single lesson. Now today, I do not know if that is as accessible as it could be, because technology today is amazing, and that's what I use. For me, I left school with 5 GCSEs, a GMVQ in IT, and an AVC in IT. I started work as a youth worker, got made redundant. I'm also dyspraxic, so when I started a job as a labourer on a building site, pushing a wheelbarrow was quite hilarious. I then got a job working for a retail environment that didn't understand that dyslexia affects your day-to-day life. And then I actually started doing a job that I really wanted to do, and I worked for the British Dyslexia Association. And this started me on a career of dyslexia. Now, unfortunately, in 2016, I got made redundant, and this is when my life really changed. When I started my first company, SEND Group, that delivers CPD to teachers, LVA Group, that works with companies like Microsoft and Dyslexia Box. We then in 2019, I created Dyslexia Show, the UK's first national exhibition dedicated to dyslexia, that happened this year. And then only last year we bought Read Successfully, the home of Trugs, which is a
Has Arran gone on mute? Sorry.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, Arran.
That's why I'm unmuting myself. Thank you for telling me.
Yeah, sorry.
I have no idea why I went on mute there. That was interesting, wasn't it? So there we go. Right, there we go. So hopefully you heard what I said. So I will say that again. So this is our independent learning page, and this is all about independent learning. And the web address you can go to is aka.ms/accessibilitysway, aka.ms/accessibilitysway. And just to kind of highlight a few things, we work in all these areas. We work in mental health, neurodiversity, mobility, hearing, visual learning, and we have all features in different pockets of Microsoft. So we have tools in Microsoft Viva for anxiety. We hire people with autism. We use eye gaze in Windows 10 and Windows 11 for mobility. I'm using closed captions in PowerPoint for people with hard of hearing. I have colorblind tools built into Windows 10 and Windows 11, and we're going to talk about learning tools in a second. Now, this is where I want to try and do a little bit of a bit of audience participation. So what I want you to do is I want you to write in the chat box. I want you to put something in the chat box in a second, but I want you just to think about something first. So the first thing I want to think about is mobility and Microsoft. So the thing about what this is that Microsoft has many brands. It doesn't just have Surface, Windows, Office. It has a very big consumer brand called Xbox. Now, Xbox is a gaming platform, and if you think of an Xbox remote or an Xbox controller, you use your thumbs. I've shown you on my screen. Doesn't matter if you have it doesn't matter what device you use. You can either use an Xbox or a PC or an iPad or even a Switch, and you still need to use your thumbs. Well, Microsoft created the world's first accessible game controller, a controller that actually supports people with physical differences. This is a device that's been designed for people. Now, some of you may have heard me before and you may know the answer to this, but I'd love you to write in the chat box how much you think this device costs. So how much do you think a device for physical differences costs, and how much do you think Microsoft retails this out at? Now, I'm going to bring up the chat so I can see, because I'm going to see the chat here. So if someone can start typing in, let me know how much you think it is. How much do you think it is? In the chat box, type in how much you think it is. So we've got 20, 300, 150. I need my gavel. £1,474.30p. I quite like that one. £100. That one I'm going to give a smiley face to, because I like that one. £70, £50, £400, £350. Right, because we haven't got a lot of time, 500, 460. Okay, so what for those people that have just joined, we're just trying to work out how much this costs. So basically the cost of this is £74.99. £74.99. It's a fully customizable device. It's fully accessible. That green switch, which is not made by Microsoft, costs around £50. So this is a really inclusive product, an inclusive device. So we're going to today look at our inclusive classroom message. We're going to look at inclusive classroom, and we're going to look at it here. I'm just going to mute that there. So we're going to start by looking at Immersive Reader. Immersive Reader is a tool that was created back in 2015 to support people with dyslexia. Now, before we do it, before I go into talking about text-to-speech, synchronized highlighting, font and line grammar option, real-time translation, picture dictionary, math, speech, and a bit of dictation, what I'm first going to do is I'm going to stop my presentation. I'm going to run something using a QR code. Because I'm going to demo today, I want to make sure that we have a fully accessible experience. There is a good number of you on the call. I'm going to quickly look and see how many of you are on the call. So we've got over 50 of us on the call today. So I want to be accessible to all of you. Now, what's going to happen in a second is on the screen, you're going to see a QR code. And I need you to use your mobile phone, which is your most accessible device, to scan the QR code. And what will happen is you will have dedicated captions to your device. It can be in your own language, it can be in English or your other language. It's a really cool tool. This is called PowerPoint Live. It's built into PowerPoint in the web. I'm going to bring it up now. I am. So if you give me a second, I'm just going to stop the presentation a second. I'm just going to bring that up now. So I'm going to just start from that slide, from this slide, start from the current slide. So I'm just going to bring that up. So if you want to start scanning that QR code for me, I'll scan it as well. And you should see whatever I'm saying is appearing on the screen or on your iPhone or your Android device. You should be able to see I'm doing it as well. So you can see I've got my phone out doing it as well to make sure it works. And you should be able to see that on the bottom, you can also send me some emojis. So you can see there, if you want to send me some emojis, you can do that throughout. You can also change the language. So this is a really cool tool, and as you can see there, it's also very interactive for your students. So it's only available in PowerPoint Live. It's completely free. So PowerPoint in the web. It's called PowerPoint Live. It's completely free. Do have a look at it in the web. If you're watching the recording, it will not work. So it will not work if you're watching the recording. So I'm just going to carry on and move on. So like I said, I'm going to demo the product now. I'm going to talk about it here. I'm going to talk about how you get access to Immersive Reader and where you find it. So I'm just going to drop that link into the chat, just so if anyone wants to do it, they can use the link. There's the link there in the chat. And I'm now going to bring in, so there's no captions on the screen. So I'm just going to bring in this here. So what I've done here is I've logged into office.com. So I've gone to a web browser and I've opened office.com. And this is the most important thing, that if you're using London Grid for Learning and you're using logging in for that way, or you're using your own tenancy, you go into office.com, you sign in, and you access Word Online through this, or all our online products. And we're going to go to Word Online. So this is my Word Online document that I've already got open. I'm just going to open it again here. And this is kind of like the way we're going to start with it. The concept of this is that it's designed for that individual user. So even if you're in primary or secondary, we want the students to be logged on in their own environment, in their own user area, because Immersive Reader works really well for that individual. Now, as I said, you know that I'm dyslexic. You know that I find reading difficult. So I could use other pieces of software, but I'm going to use the Immersive Reader, which I can find in the View tab. View as in for looking, view as in for seeing. So it's always in the View tab. And basically what you find here is the Immersive Reader button is the second one in. Now what it does, it takes us straight from our editing view and puts it into our immersive view. So this view has been designed for us to be immersive. So I can straight away start by changing this text by pressing our AA. Our AA is our text preferences. We can make this bigger or smaller. We can turn spacing on and off. We can change the font. I really like Comic Sans, proper A's, proper G's. We've got different coloured backgrounds we can use. So I'm going to use this colour background for today. I can also remove source formatting. So this is bold, italic, underline. I can remove that. Does not edit my document. All it's doing is for me, for reading, a reading purpose now. It's for me to read right now. But I can do a bit more. I can go into our grammar options and syllabarize the text, breaking words up into syllables like sometimes or sometimes, physical, really useful. I can pick up my nouns, my verbs, my adjectives, my adverbs. That's really quite cool because I have no idea what verbs, adjectives, and adverbs are, but I know they're there. I know that 8% of boys are colourblind. So let's put labels on so that helps them decode it with their colour. We can also change the colour if we want to. So if you want to change some semantic concepts, you can do. It's really quite cool in that way. Our final kind of control that we can do in here is our reading preferences. We can focus it on lines. We can remove distractions, and depending on how big your text is, depends on how many lines you can do. But my favourite feature is this one here, which is called Pitch Dictionary. Now, I know when I've done this training before for CENMAC, we've clicked on words like study and earth and sometimes and called because they're brilliant. But the one thing that I can say is that over the summer, we added another 6,000 pictures. So even landforms, right, and glaciers have now got pictures in, which is really good to see. These are all Boardmaker pictures. They're completely free. You have it today. This is available in office.com and many products. You can see there these amazing pictures, doing even a new picture for geography. But the best thing about this and the most useful thing that I find is this button here, which is the read aloud button or text to speech button. By pressing it, it does this.
The study of Earth's landform is sometimes called physical geography. Landforms can be mountains and valleys.
As you can see there, I had text to speech with synchronized highlighting. I'm hoping you heard it. I'm hoping I turned the right button on. I know that Mary will tell me if I didn't. and she hasn't, so that means that hopefully it's working. So straight away you've heard it with a real-time voice, a natural speaking voice. We can also change the speed, make it really fast.
The study of Earth's landform is sometimes called physical geography. Landforms can be mountains and valleys.
Or we can slow it right down. So let's slow it right down.
The study of Earth's landform is sometimes...
That is really cool to see. We can also change it to a male voice as well. So you can see that I've just changed it to a male voice.
The study of Earth's landform is sometimes called physical geography. Landforms can be mountains and valleys.
That is just really useful, it is. Now, that is a really powerful tool that you can use with many students. But there's one other feature in here that I haven't shown you, and that is basically our translation feature. We can do real-time translation. We can pick any language. I'm going to pick Ukrainian because we know we have a high percentage of Ukrainian colleagues now, students in our schools. We can turn to whole documents. It translates the text, but it also translates it into spoken language as well.
Вивчення форм рельєфу Землі іноді називають фізичною географією. Формами рельєфу можуть бути гори і долини. Також це можуть бути льодовики або річки.
So I was at University of Lancashire this week, and I had a lady said use it in Germany. So that's what I'm going to put it into now. And she spoke and spoke German, and she was German, so she went, let's just test it out. She read it, she said it looked all right, and when I pressed this text to speech.
Das Studium der Landform der Erde wird manchmal als physische Geographie bezeichnet.
She was very happy. She said that is very logical. It's very good. And that's the thing. And it's just an amazing concept. But what we can also do, though, is we can also do other things like this. We can actually put it into English Australian. Now, why would that do anything? Well, apart from one thing it does is this.
The study of Earth's landform is sometimes called physical geography. Landforms can be mountains and valleys.
So it now changes the accent. So that is really quite cool and very useful maybe for some of our students with autism, because they may not be able to access that. So that is really powerful, that is. It's a really powerful tool. And my last tool my last one I want to show you is just Arabic. The reason for this is if we look at the synchronization.
تسمى دراسة الشكل الأرضي للأرض أحيانا الجغرافيا طبيعية. يمكن أن تكون الأشكال الأرضية جبالاً.
So you can see there that we're reading from right to left rather than from left to right, which is again a really powerful tool. So Immersive Reader is built into the web, into Word Online, and it is really cool. And that's what I just wanted to show you. I'm just going to show you this page here. So you can see here this icon here, which is Edge Chromium or Microsoft Edge, the only version of Edge we do now, which is the Chromium version, which is what I'm using here. I can open up this up and I can go to any web page. Let's just go to a web page here. Let's find and see how this one is. I know what this is about, but let's just see how this works and see. So we can see how I've opened a web page up. So straight away, we've got a picture of the Queen and we've got some text here. Now, what I can do is I can just press the right mouse button and I can press read aloud. And what's going to start happening is it's going to start reading out loud.
A BBC royal correspondent says Prince Charles and Prince William rushing to Balmoral amid concerns for the Queen's health shows the situation is serious.
And you can see that actually it's reading out loud. It's not very useful. So it's reading out loud and it's helping us decoding and kind of helps with research. But the one other thing we have here is we have this button next to the in the address bar, which actually is our Immersive Reader button. Now, this only comes up on really text-rich websites, so blog sites, news sites. Everything that I've done in Immersive Reader, I can do again. So I can kind of change my text. I can change my text to Bulgarian. They go whole document into Bulgarian. And it's just doing it there. It's translating. It's taking a few minutes. There you go. We'll translate it into Bulgarian. I've got Pitch Dictionary turned on. So let's try rushing. Prince. There you go. Royal. So you can see there that actually that's a really useful tool that's built in. Just to overcap what that's not the right word. To recap what I just say. Immersive Reader, Word Online. So office.com. Go to Word Online. Go to the view tab. There's my Immersive Reader. Go to any web page. Right mouse button. Any text-rich web page. the little icon on the top of the screen there will actually give us this information. And one of the features as well, and I just want to show you before I carry on, is this button. Just look at the time. Okay, about 10 minutes before I want to stop, so you can have some questions. So this button here, which is really cool, the dictation button here. This is the dictation.
It's lagging a bit, and we can't see the screen. We can't see what's going on.
Let's stop sharing and let's share again.
Thank you.
Right, okay, that's it. There we go. It's always good to do that. So, as well, my dictation well that was working for me earlier. So I'm just going to refresh the page and show you this. As I said, here is, and this is really quite cool. It does remind me.
I think I can't see it at all now, Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so the internet has kind of slowed right down for us. So let me just stop sharing. Let's just try again. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reconnect to another network. I am just so that then we can try and carry on. So I do apologise, everyone. We've got to love how technology works, and technology is quite cool. It does work. So I'm just going to stop sharing a second. So I may drop for 30 seconds. I may do, and hopefully I'll come back in a second. I will do. Right, okay, so I'm now back with everyone. Can everyone hear? Can you still hear me?
We can hear you and see you.
Yeah,
can't
that's
see
good.
us.
Okay, right, now let's try it. That's fine. Okay, now let's try that. Now can you see my screen?
Yep, that's
Can you see the
fine.
screen now? Yep, that's fine. And now we can see here it's working. So can you see this here? This is my dictation, which I was talking about a few minutes ago. Hopefully you can see it now. So this is the dictation tool here. Now what I can do is if I just press enter a few times there and press the little microphone, what you should see is whatever appears on the screen is whatever I'm saying, full stop. New line. And you can see there that I started dictating using a few commands. Now in here we've got our little spoke, so we can change like our language, our microphone. We can turn on and off sensitive phrases. We can enable punctuation, so it automatically punctuates. What I can also do is go into my little icon here, which is my help icon. And as you can see here, it's just loading, it takes a few minutes to load. These are our help tools. So it tells you here how to get started, all of our symbols, our making corrections, formatting documents, creating lists. And this is quite a cool tool. So what I can do is here is I can go my dictation tips, full stop. New paragraph. Start list. Think before you speak. Full stop. New line. Delete new line. New line. Speak clearly and fluently. Comma. Not too fast. New line. Use a microphone array or USB headset to help with accuracy. Stop dictating. So you can see there, not very fast, but not very slow. I've used that dictation tool to create myself a little list. Now, of course, you can use it a bit faster. The more you use it, the better the better you get confident with it to get it to do what you want it to do. This is a tool that I use every single day. I use it in Outlook. I use it in Word. I use it in Word on the web. It's a tool I use every single day, and it works really well for me. You can see there me using it, and I quite enjoy it. I am a little bit of a hypocrite. I'll be very honest. I'm very bad at putting the full stops and commas in. I am lucky enough to have access to work support, so my colleague Paula does check all my documents before they go out. Really cool tool, that is. So I just want to come back to my presentation and kind of just go through a few more things. So we've talked a lot about immersive edge. They're in this tool, this app called Office Lens. So it's an amazing tool in Office Lens. You can take a photograph, send it to Immersive Reader, and it will do the OCR conversion and convert it for you, which is really powerful. It's in Microsoft Teams under the 3 little dots. This is in channels, chats, and conversations. That's really useful to see. It's in Microsoft Flip as well, which is a third-party tool that's part of Microsoft, designed to support learners and have a student voice. It's in Minecraft Education. Just to point a caveat to that, you need to have an A3 license to have Minecraft Education, so you need to actually have a paid-for license to get that tool. But the feature Immersive Reader is free. You've got it in Microsoft Forms, which is free for everyone. You've got it in Teams assignments. You've got it in Whiteboard. You've got it in CodeMaker. You've got it in PowerPoint, OneDrive and SharePoint. And of course, you've got a PowerPoint in the web. This horrible slide, it's a horrible slide, but it just kind of gives us a good indication. That one line across the top, that top line of all them colors, is read aloud. So reading out loud with synchronization. 5 versions of OneNote, 4 versions of Word, 2 versions of Outlook, Teams, all versions of Flipgrid, Whiteboard, Forms, Minecraft Education, Office Lens, and the Edge browser. That is a lot of places where it is in, a lot of places where reading out loud is. Dictation is the last but one line. Sorry about that. I jumped out of the skin because my phone fell off the place where I held it to keep the internet going. Dictation is in many places. Is in many more places than just 3 versions of one. It's actually now in 4 versions of OneNote, 2 versions of Word, actually 3 versions of Word, because it's also in Word, iPad. It's also available in Outlook Desktop, 2 versions of PowerPoint, Windows 10, Windows 11. So you can see this technology growing every single day. So there's lots of things there. Now we've got about 5 minutes before I want to give you some time to ask me some questions. I just want to show you this. I'm going to talk you through this. I'm going to play the video, but with no sound on it. So back in 2021, sorry, back in 2021, last year, Microsoft started that next journey of reading. We've talked about Immersive Reader. We now wanted to support with reading. So the concept of this is that we've created a tool in Microsoft Teams to support with reading fluency. And this is a tool that works in your classroom. It's part of a Teams assignment, and it's called Reading Progress. And it's freely available now, and it's helping you to improve your students' vocabulary and reading. As you've just seen, it allows you to upload some text or use some text that we have, and using artificial intelligence, it will listen to your student read. You can pick out things like how many attempts, the numbers, how sensitive you want the intelligence to be. If you want to have a video, you attach it, sends it to the student. The student opens this up on any device. It could be a mobile device, and they read it. It's recording their reading and listening to them. When you press finish, it then sends that to the student, to the teacher. The teacher can then review it by giving how many words corrected per minute, the accuracy rate of it, if we've got any mispronunciations, omissions, insertions or repetitions or self-corrections in the document, and it highlights them automatically for us. On top of that, on the left-hand side there, you'll see it does auto-detect. We can, we can jump to the text there, we can jump to different words, which is really quite cool. We can also do many things here, and of course I'm just going to jump the video a little bit because it is just taking a few seconds to load. We also have some amazing insights. It gives us things like a graph on our word cloud, and there you can see the graph there, and then the word cloud is at the bottom there, so that's really useful there. That's the graph of the average rate for the whole class, and then the word cloud of words that the whole class is getting difficult. And that's really quite cool. And that tool is available today. And the one thing that I can say is we've actually created another tool. I'm just going to try and get the presentation to pause that. So I can go on to my next slide. Can I go to the next slide? So I'm just going to go to this slide here. So on top of that, we actually have created an additional tool for reading progress called Reading Coach. So Reading Coach is one of these amazing tools which allows you to actually say that you can set this up for your students. So you can just turn it on by doing that toggle on there. And basically what it allows the student to do is it actually allows the student to listen to the student, and actually you can customize how they get to use this system. So it tells you there like how you can, what they can do with the word. does it play the word, what voice they use, and kind of what style it is. So if it's a primary style or if it's a secondary school style. So what happens is if you get your word wrong, like atmosphere or landforms or physical, it comes up with this. You click on the word, and basically you can read the word by just pressing the microphone. It'll read it to it, and it will tell you if you're getting it right or wrong. And it's a really cool bit of kit. This is that it's really useful. Again, it's free. It listens to the students. It gives them opportunities to keep trying. It also gives them that positivity. It does. What it can do as well is, like I said, it gives you this little control panel part, this little information, insights, tells you how many attempts they've had and how well they've done it, and if words they need to go back and relearn. And also the cool thing now is from that word cloud, you can actually send that straight into a reading practice for word practice for reading coach, and the student gets to see it as well, which is really quite cool. It's one bit of feedback we've got given. Now I'm going to jump along here now. Of course, normally I would talk about all these amazing things that's in my presentation, and I'm just going to jump to my end slide. My last few slides, just because I want to highlight a few things for you. So you can get loads of information. I'm going to just go to this slide here. On my last slide, there is a QR code, so you can download it. The point of what we've talked about today is all about growing independence for our students. Creating environments for you as learners and teachers, and just building that inclusive schools. This is what I always say: putting technology at the heart of learning with accessibility tools built in for everyone creates independent learners and ensures all students achieve their full potential. I want to thank you for listening. If you want to ask me any questions, please do so. If you want to follow me on Twitter at Arran Dyslexia, there's my email address on the screen. As I said, I'm a vendor, so that's my work email for Microsoft. So if you want to drop me an email. For those that are not part of CENMAC or another school, if you want me to deliver this full hour presentation, which goes into things about PowerPoint, I can do that for free. All of my talking is free. Drop me an email, you can find out more information. In a second, I'll stop the presentation. So if there's any questions, I can answer the questions. I know Mary's been keeping an eye on that question box. So the floor is open to you. Thank you for listening.
Brilliant, thank you, Arran. There's a lot to take in there.
There's a lot to take in, and there's so much more.
Yeah.
Let's just stop. I'm going to stop sharing now. So then we can then you can just see me, and then I can then answer any questions. So do you want to read me some questions, Mary? That's probably the easiest thing.
A couple of people have asked about emailing out the transcript and video, but we'll do that. We'll do that after the session.
Yeah.
That's fine. Just scrolling up.
So I'm going to see here. So I'm curious. Immersive Reader, is it available in Word, Outlook, Teams, OneNote, Edge? Not as powerful, PowerPoint web version only. Absolute game changer. So the web version is exactly the same in PowerPoint. All you just do is you press the right mouse button. The thing about what it is, it all depends on how you're getting Word. It works in all of them exactly the same if you're using the web version. The desktop version is different because desktop you pay for, and of course Microsoft is a cloud company, so that's why it will always start within the cloud first, because actually more people around the world now are accessing the cloud rather than the desktop. It's just a UK thing. We like to install things on our desktop.
That was brilliant, Arran. Thank you. Is there anyone else who has any other questions for Arran?
Please
Feel
do.
free to unmute yourselves if you do.
Yeah.
So does the read in progress software consider accents and dialects when checking for mistakes?
So yes, it does. Yes. So what it's doing is so read in progress is in about 50, I think it's 15 languages now, so not just English. And of course, as you noticed when you saw me looking at translation, I didn't show it in dictation, but in dictation as well, we have multiple languages that we can do. So we can do like English Irish, you can do English Australian, English Canadian, French Canadian, French, that kind of concept. So yes, it does that. It's not very good. It doesn't go into deep accents around, like, say, the UK, but it is learning that. So like Microsoft actually has a lot of people doing the AI generation on it. So it just means now it will take time, but it will get there. It is brand new. It only launched this month. So reading progress launched last year. Reading Coach launched this month. So Reading Coach is available. So the thing to do is trial it, test it, and let me know that feedback. You've got my email address. I really want to know the feedback about it. I work directly with the product manager for Reading Progress. Let me know what you think about it, and I can let him know.
Brilliant, thank you. Any other questions? If you want to just pop them into the chat. No, I think we might be at an end then.
And that's brilliant. Thank you so much for having me, everyone. Happy to follow me on, like I said, follow me on Twitter. Happy to come back and we can go from there.
Thank you so much. Someone's just commented, amazing presentation. There's some thank yous coming in there. That's really good. Thank you, Arran.
That's not a problem, everyone. I'm going to let everyone go. Thank you, everyone.
Can't hear me. I think they removed it.
But when's the next one, did you say?
Yeah, when's the next one? Yeah.
So the next CENMAC one, they're every Thursday. Every Thursday at 3:30, and we'll have a different guest every Thursday. But keep an eye on our website to find out what's coming up next.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
That's right. I'm going to leave everyone now. Thank you so much for everyone. Take care. Cheers, Mary. Take care, Catherine.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye.
I need to stop the recording, please.